Welcome back to another episode of Chrono Clock. Last time we got a new maid, and we kind of found out that Masaki might like us, but she doesn't know she likes us, or something like that. There was mixed signals. And our sister got pretty annoyed at our new maid being the same age as us, but she's a foreign exchange student, just there on homestay, which she was supposed to be our fiance through our grandparents knowing each other or something like that, and that wasn't fun at all for the main character. Every time you think you know the story's going one way, it throws you a bunch of random curveballs. It's very interesting. The next day, when things really turned around for me, I woke up to a pleasant fragrance yet again. Thinking about it, it had been about a week since the last time this happened. Good morning. I gave my morning greetings without opening my eyes. A gentle, contented voice responded back. There's no sound. Why is there no sound? Oh. Let's rewind back real quick. I gave my morning greetings without opening my eyes. A gentle, contented voice responded back. I opened one of my eyes, taking in sight of the ceiling. Yeah, it's morning. Didn't you go to bed with Dee last night? I turned my head sideways, and sure enough, Machida was lying there on her side. Children are always early risers, especially on their days off and whatnot. I don't want to go. I'll pass. It was such an enticing offer that for a second there, I had seriously considered taking her up on it. Glancing at the time on my phone lying beside my pillow, I found it was just past 6 o'clock, much earlier than my usual wake-up time. Well, I'm just gonna keep lying here for a bit longer. Do whatever you want. I didn't mean like that. After teasing me, Machida began caressing my face. She did so more delicately than usual, perhaps because we had more time to kill. It felt ticklish. Machida's slender, smooth fingers ran down my neck, brushed over my Adam's apple, and then stopped in my chest as if she were about to check my pulse. I could feel the warmth of Machida's breath on my skin. She seemed to be more seductive with her fingers than usual. Wait, why am I getting a bad feeling about this? Wait! That's not what I meant. This really was getting out of hand, so I tried to get up, but Machida grabbed my wrist and began to straddle me. Didi's eyes went wide as saucers as Machida yelled at her. Perfect timing, Didi! Machida pouted like a child as she dragged Didi out of the room by the collar. Now that I think about it, those two really do have good chemistry. I stifled a yawn and got out of bed. Another day, another dollar, as they say. I was waiting outside the front gate as usual when Machida and Didi came out in their uniforms. I held out my hand for Machida, but she didn't take it. Huh?
ご主人様、ちょっとよろしいですか？
Sure.
今日は私がお嬢様をスクールまで連れて行こうと思うのです。
Huh? Are you fine with that, Machado?
不満はありますが、兄様が登校できない時や DD さんと兄様を引き離す手段の一環として仕方がありません。
Your real intent is way too obvious. Still, I couldn't really argue with her first point. Even it would leave me feeling a bit lonely. Alright. Can I trust you with this, Didi?
はい、お任せください。不手際があったら解雇して差し上げます。大丈夫ですよ。
Machado and Didi didn't seem to pay mind to this, but it would actually be advantageous for Didi if she were fired. She'd level up from a maid to a house guest that way. That makes 2 airhead girls living under the same roof. I'm still worried about you. Would you mind if I followed behind?
さすがの私でもそこまでされると恥ずかしいです。子供の初めてのお使いではないのですからおやめください。
Alright. All my anxieties and worries were waltzing about in my head, but I didn't have much of a choice. I'll see you guys later.
兄様もお気をつけて。またクラスルームで会いましょう。
Machito's "do take care" seemed weirdly ominous, but it's not like anything really serious could happen while riding the monorail. Strong winds or mechanical failures can occasionally cause delays, but the monorail had never had an incident which caused serious injury. I pondered over these things as I went to the school alone, and then... Oh, something wicked this way comes.
レイ君おはようって何が危ないの？
A wicked something strode up to me with a carefree greeting. It's nothing. Good morning.
今日も晴れてて暑いね。
I will never understand what the first topic of conversation people always comes up with is the weather. I expected her to grab me by the necktie again for my little jape, but
そりゃまあ天気は大事だし。
important.
ほら日曜日晴れだって。
Makoto laughed bashfully. Oh, the dates.
まさか忘れてたの？
No, I just wasn't thinking about what the weather would be like then.
もういくらお気楽なデートって言っても私の初めてなんだからもうちょっとしっかりリードしてよね。
Makoto poked me in the chest with her finger as if to hide her embarrassment, but I could tell she was trying to make the mood more playful. Of course, I was just as embarrassed about it as she was. There's an arcade over in the shopping district, so I'm not worried about the weather. I was thinking we could maybe go see a movie too.
映画基本だね。いいね。
After that, we could spend the rest of the time chatting in a coffee shop somewhere, or we could just do some window shopping. The instant those words left my mouth, a bad flashback hit me. But, for the love of God, don't make me shop the clothes with you.
はは女の子の服選びに付き合ってひどい目にあったことがあるんだ。
How much time do you take with that stuff? You seem like the type to just buy something without worrying too much.
あ、私も長いよ。
And looking at clothes is right out. You're gonna make me cry here.
レイ君は一度泣かしてみたいけど男子のゲーム好きと同じようなものだと思うけどな。
Makoto teased me carefree as ever, like she didn't care about my complaints at all. Well, anyway, if that's too ordinary for you, we could always try a
い
karaoke.
や、カラオケは私が恥ずかしいからやめておいて。
Embarrassing? You're not tone deaf, are you? There's a music class at our school, but I don't remember anyone in my class being particularly tone deaf. Makoto frowned and hesitated before mumbling a
友
response.
達と一緒の時はそれっぽい流行り歌でごまかしてるけど本当は演歌とか誰も知らない昭和初期の人形系の歌とかが好きでね熱唱しちゃうの。
I really wanted to hear her sing something like that. And so, I arrived at school without incident, sat through classes, and waited for lunchtime. Just the same old routine. Day after day came the hope that something interesting would happen for a change, but unfortunately today was just another normal day. Well, I suppose having Dee Dee in my class counts as interesting. The English lessons were a snap for her, but the classical lit lessons just had her hanging her head in frustration. Even just watching her was fun. Shuji walked over to my desk. By that girl, he naturally meant Dee Dee, who would be surrounded by a gaggle of curious school classmates during every break period. What do you mean? How's what? I guess it's only natural Suji would be curious given how much she loves the light novels. But still. We don't live under the same roof. I'm in the annex, and there is a separate bathroom in the main house. So the odds of me walking in on Dee Dee are pretty much nil. I didn't mention that I'd seen her panties. Like I could ever say that. In all honesty, Shuji has probably more worried about Miu, Michiru, and all the others than he has about Dee Dee. He'd probably say something like, "Sanjali, which one of them are you gonna pick? You better not make anyone cry, so watch yourself." Well, I appreciate the advice. Shuji didn't know what I was talking about. Just then I realized that other people could have overheard since we were talking about Dee Dee. Even if they weren't meaning to eavesdrop on us, they'd definitely be perking their ears if I mentioned her name. I had only myself to blame for that. I ought to just keep my mouth shut for a few days. I grabbed my lunch and stood up. This time Shuji picked up on the situation immediately and returned to his seat. Guess I'll go to the rooftop again today. Huh! I figured those two would be on the roof again, but somehow only Misaki was there. Misaki, why are you here without Miu? Well, that's not what I was getting at, so don't go all daddy on me. You're on the mood of ODing on soon as it is, Misaki. I grabbed my pocket watch and peered over the unfenced edge of the rooftop as I spoke to Misaki. I just hope you didn't know. Nothing, I was just checking if Miu fell off the roof. I'm sure she would. Hence why I was making sure she didn't. So Miu really isn't here today. Oh, did she go to the bathroom? Or is she buying drinks? Masaki wants me to treat her with courtesy, yeah. I could pat your head if you wanted. Then I could flip your skirt up, maybe? Masaki stomped a foot and yelled at me. Yeah, I love how energetic these first years are. Teasing them certainly gets good results. Enough jokes then. What happened to her? Oh, so you've had lunch already then? Well, you'll have to excuse my manners, but I'm going to dig in while we talk. Let's just say I'm a wild and crazy guy. Anyway, you were saying? What can I say? That's some bad luck. If this happened in fourth period, then I couldn't fix it by going back 5 minutes either. Just for me? Thanks! Now that all the commotion over Miu's confession has blown over, I wouldn't have been surprised if the rooftop had totally devoid of other people today. I was about to say, you could have just texted me though, but that reminds me, I still haven't exchanged cell numbers with you yet. You said you wanted that before, didn't you?
そうだけど、でも
Or something like today, it'd be more convenient. If you had been able to text me, you wouldn't have had to come all the way up here to tell me. I took up my smartphone as we talked.
でも
I thought she was getting angry, but instead she was fidgeting bashfully.
そうじゃなくて、私、男の人とそういうことしたことないし。
She obviously didn't mean to word that in a sexual way, but it was still a little bit of a turn on. Well, it's not like I'm forcing you.
ちょっと待ちなさいよ。嫌だなんて言ってないでしょ。
For some reason, Masaki grabbed hold of my arm as she shouted at me. She snatched my phone out of my hand before I could put it away and held it next to her own so she could exchange her info with mine.
これでよし。
Right. Taking my phone back and looking at my contacts, sure enough, the name Masaki Ando had appeared at the very top of the list. Masaki grinned from ear to ear as she looked at her own phone. What are you giggling for?
うるさいわね。何も用がないときは連絡しちゃダメよ。
I won't. Men don't waste time with stuff like that.
そうなの？
I mean, you wouldn't like it if I texted you every morning and night either, would you?
いや、それは大事な用事じゃない？
Masaki, your idea of what counts as important completely escapes me. Masaki waved her arms menacingly at me.
とにかく基準がわからないなら私が送ったメールにちゃんと返事をしてくれればいいの。あと、あんまり返事が遅いと気になるし、そっけない文章だと嫌われたんじゃないかって不安になるし、気をつけるのよ。それに私が返事どうしようって遅くなっても気にしちゃダメだからね。
Am I her boyfriend now or something? I froze up as I thought about that weird question, and Masaki backed off now that we were done exchanging numbers.
じゃあ、私は教室に戻るけど、私がいなくなったら試しにメールをいつ送りなさい。
Huh? I should?
当然でしょ。
Masaki gingerly walked off, leaving me behind on the rooftop. Crow? I kind of wished he would appear at that moment, but as usual, she was off somewhere else. Left with no other options, I clicked on Masaki's name in my contacts. Maybe hope you get along with you more will do. I know she did not send her... I know she did not... Oh, said not. Fudge. I know she said not to send her really short messages, but having nothing else to say, I just decided to send it off. I was thinking of going back to my own class to finish my lunch, but at that moment my phone received a response.
ありがとうって一応で感謝してあげてるだけだから。でもよろしくね。
What are all those jumbled characters at the bottom? Is that a failed translation? Masaki's behavior was still as mysterious as ever, but I was still pretty happy to get a text from a girl. Then I archived her message in a new folder. Now I can finally relax and finish eating. Bang! The door to the roof flew open.
メールの話をしてて忘れてた。
You just can't take it easy for a second, can you? As Masaki came running back, I figured I should just give up on finishing my lunch until she left. So what's wrong, puppy?
誰がワンコよ。
Well, you certainly don't act like a kitten.
そんなことより責任取りなさいよ。
For what? Your false pregnancy symptoms? Masaki stomped the ground again. Looks like I teased her a bit too much. Alright, already. I'll drop the jokes now. Just tell me what I'm supposed to take responsibility for. Masaki took a deep breath to calm herself down and then stared down at me a little nervously.
兄ちゃんが運ばれていったから、今日の放課後私は暇になったのよ。 だから先輩が責任を取って代わりに私と遊びなさい。よし。
Sorry, you're confusing me here. Considering what normally went on when she ran into me, I thought she was saying I had to take responsibility for all that. Looks like I was exonerated. I need a minute here. You're telling me you wanted to hang out with me, but were too embarrassed to ask me out up front, so now you're finally coming out and saying it's my responsibility now.
別に用事があるならいいけど。
Now I'm free. Guess I'll see you after school then.
やけに素直ね。
Misaki still had her guard up for some reason. I just sighed back at her. Now then, would you kindly let me eat my lunch in peace? And so, after school, I told Didi to see Michiru again, and I found myself waiting in front of the school for Misaki, who soon came skipping out of the building.
さあ、遊びましょう。
You got it. It was easy to see she was in a good mood, which cheered me up as well. It's nice when people are easy to read like that. The monorail shook as it made its regular journey towards the shopping district. Misaki hummed to herself as she looked out the window. I initially thought she'd want to talk some more, but she probably thought it wasn't ladylike to converse with someone on a public transit. I didn't want to annoy the other people around us, so I resisted the urge to tease Misaki and just sat quietly. But man, Misaki's got quite a rack on her. Wait, I really shouldn't stare, but I guess a quick glance wouldn't hurt. I never really felt my school's uniform had the kind of design that would make a girl's bust stand out like that. Misaki probably matches up with Makoto or Michiru, bust-wise, but thanks to her petite frame, the juxtaposition is kind of enticing. They call this sort of thing opailale, don't they?
どうしたの？
Misaki seemed to catch on where I was staring, and was now looking at me with a huge smirk on her face. Don't mind me, miss. It's nothing.
なんでそこで敬語になるのよ。私はね。
No, it's nothing. Note to self. Watch where my eyes are looking when I'm with Misaki. She caught me pretty quickly. For the record, I was just going to walk around. Did you have anything particular you wanted to do?
どこにないわね。ケーキが食べたいくらい。
Sweets to the sweet, eh?
ほっといて。
She kicked me in the shin, but there wasn't any forcefulness to it, so it just came off as adorable. I couldn't help but smile. Got off at the junction and headed towards the shopping district.
ところで、先輩とみーちゃんって結局何がどうなってたの？
Misaki suddenly asked me that. Didn't you hear most of it from you?
大体ならね。ただ、それはみーちゃんの話で、先輩がどう思ってるかとか、先輩から見た結果がどうとかわからないじゃない？それって不公平でしょ？
Wow! That was unexpected, not to mention impressive. Misaki wasn't observing the situation only from her best friend's side. Could that be something acquired from her upbringing, or just part of her personality? Seems like it'd probably be the latter. Well, the way I see it, I don't think there's much difference in how things turned out from what Miu would have told you. Miu is definitely not someone who would tell lies or hide things from others to save face. But I'm guessing Miu didn't tell you about how I got a broken heart from it all. We spent so much time together that I couldn't help but fall for her, and I ended up being turned down.
みーちゃんのこと今でも好きなの？
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I liked her in a sexual way. I guess you could say my lingering affections for her are a different kind of like. You took that better than I thought. I figured you'd freak out on me or something.
私へのその評価が失礼以外の何者でもないけど。
Misaki glared at me for a moment, but then her facial expression softened.
何が？沢渡りのくせに意外と男らしいじゃない。
I know you've got a pretty disrespectful opinion of me yourself.
お互い様。
If you say so. As we agreed to disagree, I felt a deep sense of maternal relief that she didn't interpret the discussion the wrong way. Since we were standing around in the middle of the street easy to spot, soon enough... Hmm? Makoto. Masaki gave Makoto an askance glance. Did she forget about her? Hey, by bad dude, what do you mean me? Well, I'd be lying if I said having a girl call me a bad dude doesn't get me a little excited. Looks like Masaki remembered after all. We're classmates. Makoto's face lit up with a friendly smile. It kinda just happened. Our friendship formed out of a showdown at the beach one twilight evening. Their opinions completely contrasted with each other. So, are you going shopping or something, Makoto? What's with that flustered look? Misaki cocked her head in curiosity. So she's location scouting for our date. Given how embarrassing that sounds, you sure seem to have a lot of motivation for it. Misaki poked me hard in the side. Understood, Your Majesty. When she saw Misaki and me, Makoto giggled and tried to excuse herself. Misaki started walking cheerfully. Makoto and I, the two upperclassmen, found ourselves exchanging glances. For the record, I never said that I was paying for anything. Makoto put her finger on her lips and thought for a moment. You. But hey, I'm not complaining. You'll get not more than 300 yen out of me for snacks. Makoto laughed and chased after Misaki. I took my time following after them with a big fat grin plastered on my face. Makoto seems pretty jovial too. And so, I became the loyal knight escorting these two princesses. Two girls gleefully chatted away while glancing through every open window in the shopping district. As the lone guy in the group, I couldn't help but feel the third wheel of sorts. And given the circumstances, I guess that'd make me Larry. No wait, Larry actually had a role to play. This situation is making me feel more like Shemp. Why exactly are you guys talking about me? I get this every day lately. And here I was thinking people in the world took privacy seriously nowadays. I appreciated the sentiment. Nah, I don't have anything to hide. I'm not really embarrassed either. Makoto nodded vigorously, as if she was strangely moved by my previous statement. Given her family ties, I doubt her definition of chivalry is upstanding in the slightest. But never mind that. Well, that actually reminds me of something I wanted to ask, so putting me aside for a minute, have either of you ever had a boyfriend before?
なんでそんなこと先輩に話さなきゃいけないのよ。
You brought it up first, didn't you? They couldn't get mad if I asked right now, so it was a good chance to find out.
私は彼氏がいたことなんてないよ。
Makoto answered honestly, without even breaking the sweat.
私は彼氏くらいいたことがあるわよ。
Really now.
おお。
Me and my fellow classmate had a want for further teasing. So, how many boyfriends have you had?
何人？まさか美咲ちゃんほどのいい女なら一人ってことはないでしょ？そうね。いえ、5人くらいかしら。
I would expect nothing less from the Ando's prestigious daughter.
当然でしょ。
So, when did you go out with your first boyfriend?
去年？すごいな。1年で5人も彼氏がいたんだ。そんなに？いや、ちょっと間違えたかも。去年じゃなくて3年前とか。
3 whole years ago? Oh, preciousness.
ほんと、同じ女子としてリスペクトしちゃうな。もしかして私からかわれてる？さ、レイ君、次は何して遊ぼうか。
To show Madame Masaki here an even better time, naturally.
私も微力ながら協力するからね。あなたたち、何をいい話としてまとめようとしてるの？
Masaki sounded as if she were about to run me through. I couldn't help but get chills at her blistering lips. Exquisite. Masaki, even your shrieks of anger are simply exquisite.
だからいい話とか深い話みたいにしてごまかすのをやめろって言ってるのよ。
Wait, were we insinuating something?
どこが？さすがにもう騙されないと思うよ。
I guess so. Masaki just isn't ready for her prime time, I guess.
あなたは私を何だと思ってるの？
Tears formed in the corner of Masaki's eyes, and she stamped the ground like usual. She's just too cute for words. Oh, that's right.
どうしたの？
There was a question I wanted to ask you too.
その前に私に言うことがあるわよね。
I don't need to thank you for entertaining us.
謝罪を要求してるのよ。
I already knew that. I just felt like egging her on one last time. If you had just one chance to turn back time and relive your life from any point in the past, how far back would you two turn back the hands of time?
時間を巻き戻す？
I guess no one must have been too sudden in asking that, since they just stared blankly at me in response. You don't have to think about it too much. It's just a little survey I've been doing.
あなたとの出会いをやり直したいわ。
So you want to make it more passionate, huh?
今のこの気持ちを抱いたまま過去に戻れたら、きっと真っ赤な情熱が咲き乱れたはずね。レイ君、さすがに自重しないと、過去どころか未来で刺されるよ。
I had a similar hunch myself. Seriously though. Do you really not have anything you'd want to do over, Masaki? I think everyone at least has one big regret from their past.
私は、
Masaki's expression suddenly turned serious as she mumbled something under her breath.
私は、今のまま過去に戻っても仕方ないの。
I couldn't quite discern why the mood had suddenly become very sullen, but all the same, I didn't feel like teasing her. Makoto also glanced at me with an expression that clearly said, "Not the right time, buddy." And
ち
then,
なみに、私はやり直したいことなんて何もないからね。
nothing at all?
ないよ。
Maybe Makoto was trying to lighten the mood a bit, but her answer seemed so apathetic that there wasn't really anything else I could say. Oh, I see. Thanks, you two.
これ、何の質問だったの？
Something like that. Actually, that's probably the best way to describe it. Ever since I acquired the power to rewind time, I've taken an interest in how other people think about the past and the future. It seems that people who'd want to go back in time several years and redo a massive portion of their lives really are few and far between, and I certainly wasn't expecting Masaka to give such a depressing answer, so now they're definitely both going to remember I asked them that. Sorry for asking, but I guess it would have been wiser to say that before I asked instead of after. Before Masaki could finish her sentence, I hurled my pocket watch against the ground. Whoa! Masaki's sudden close proximity to me made me jump with surprise. This is the part where we were talking about taking out the Mickey out of Masaki, right? Maybe I got a little too carried away. I'm sorry. My immediate apology quenched Masaki's anger instantly, leaving her gazing at me in confusion. I just don't want to get shibbed in her, but I don't want to get shibbed by her in the future at all. I quietly explained myself while Makoto pointed out my change in behavior. How about I treat you to some tea and cake to make it up to you? Oka Tarasuke. Didn't he once resolve a dispute between two women over the custody of a child by asking them to grab each of its arms and... Wait, don't let me explain any further. Her anger having been extinguished quite suddenly indeed, Masaki gleefully pressed Makoto for suggestions. I don't usually go anywhere other than family restaurants and karaoke boxes myself. You say it like it's a bad thing. Plus, if it goes bankrupt, I'll be the only one losing money. Forget I said that. That's kind of a bad habit of mine. Fingering my snark right back at me, eh? Flinging my snark right back at me, huh? I guess I know when I'm beat. Makoto, who had been looking around anxiously, suddenly made a weird noise. Masaki tried to ask her about it, but Makoto wobbled away unsteadily without response. Masaki and I glanced in her direction as she walked and discovered Makoto was not being entranced by a cafe, but by a pet shop. It was a shop that had cages installed on the corners, and there was a corner where customers were permitted to play freely with the animals. Masaki, are you an animal lover too? She immediately gave an enthusiastic nod. The adorable rascal. Yeah, I figured you'd be into that. Her smile disappeared when I said that, just as expected. That is a binary choice, which causes even deeper rifts between people than their preferred type of cell phone, so I'll have to refrain from commenting on that. I pointed at the pet shop. So you want to go in there? If Masaki had a tail, I'm certain it would have been wagging back and forth wildly in spite of the stony expression she wore on her face. I'm good. If there's going to be cute girls playing with animals, I'd rather just watch. A wolf, then? I am a wild and crazy guy, after all.
着心地よくなって脱げなくなったふぬけみたいな気はするけど。
You're too sharp for me. And so, Koto and Masaki, both seemingly in a trance, were given a brief explanation on conduct from the store employee before they entered the cage. Evidently, Makoto had quite the liking for bunnies. Wearing an expression of absolute elation, she was hugging a baby bunny as all the others surrounded her, waiting for their own turn. She really did look like she'd died and gone to heaven. It was a wonderful thing to behold. Surely a gangster's daughter playing with a whole bunch of bunnies would make for a priceless photo. I took a stealth shot with my phone camera and then turned my gaze to Masaki. In sharp contrast to the adorable ringing out before, her pitiful scream pierced the air. Masaki fell on her backside as the dogs approached her from all sides. I thought she would have wanted to be jumped on by a lot of cute puppies, though. Her awkward position had her visibly humiliated, but she couldn't bring herself to shoo the puppies off her. It's just what you think it is, fellow customers. That's my friend in there. Of course, one of the store employees recognized me as her companion and asked me if she needed any help, but I politely told them no. I'm such a nice guy. Makoto was in the same cage with her, so Masaki tried to send her an SOS. Alas, Makoto was on a totally different planet right now. That lucky little... I couldn't tell exactly where those nasty dogs were licking her, but Masaki ended up letting out a stifled moan. That's odd. The sight made me want to get in and play with the animals too. I appreciated the fleeting glimpses of Masaki's panties that I got, but the best part was the way her tights clung to her legs and accentuated her curves. Like this. Masaki suddenly tried shouting commands at them. The puppies stopped for a moment at "Down, boys," but then... the puppies wagged their tails and kept jumping all over her. Finally, Masaki started crying. Hold on, Masaki, I'll be there. I formulated a response in my head that sounded cool, then I switched my camera app into video mode. I'd like to hear her make that sexy moan one more time. Watching the whole chaotic mess unfold, I stood there without a care in the world. How could I be forced to favor only one of these two charming young ladies? God truly has a cruel sense of humor. All the same, the day wrapped up on quite a high note for me. Yeesh. A few days passed. My normal everyday routine repeated continually without variation. Dee Dee's fan club finally started to calm down a bit as well, so I was once more able to approach humanity's greatest invention, air conditioning, while eating lunch in the classroom. But while the world around me was seemingly being drained of excitement, I was getting butterflies in my stomach. The weekend drew closer. That is, the destined time for my date with Makoto. Before I knew it, it became Sunday. My heart really was thumping like a drum as I waited for Makoto in the front of the station. There was still quite a wait before the agreed time of 1 o'clock, but I couldn't settle down. Nervously, I reflected on our itinerary for today. We would both eat lunch before meeting up, then we go see a movie. After that, we find somewhere to drink, tea, and bide our time until the evening. Going on a date was a new experience for both of us. I had insisted to her that it was just a test case, not a serious date, and I planned to finish it up before I did anything to make a fool out of myself. Nevertheless, it was still a date. Unlike the times I hung out with Miu or Misaki, this was the first time that I'd actually asked someone out on a proper date. Effectively, one might say that I'd finally taken the first step toward getting a girlfriend and graduating from my status as a virgin. Like when man took his first step on the moon. I even took the proper precautions too. I gently patted my pocket. While I didn't expect things to go that far with Makoto, I still brought a condom along just in case. I'd never actually used one before, but I at least knew the basics of how to pinch the air out of the tip and then roll it on. Wait, put yourself together, man. That could never actually happen. Alright already, I get it. Still, part of me couldn't help but wonder if I believed in miracles. I'll make it happen. Ah! While I was lost in my own dissident thoughts, a voice ringing out next to me made me stagger back a few steps. I never even realized that Makoto was standing right next to me. Makoto showed me an awkward, bashful smile, but at the same time it was incredibly charming. More importantly, more than anything, that outfit of hers, so cute. Unlike the stylish uniform she usually wore, the clothes she wore onto the date looked very fancy and feminine. The skirt didn't show off the lace as much as her usual outfit, but the skirt was designed to expose more skin on the side than the other, giving off an alluring yet also demure kind of appearance. But above all, she was dressing like this for our date. For me, even. The thought of it was making me giddy. It's a small world. That outfit hit me like a bolt of blue, and I was getting so excited I couldn't think straight. Makoto raised an eyebrow suspiciously at my strange behavior. No wait! I think it looks as cute as anything on you. It was just too cute. I didn't have any idea how to react. Even if that outfit didn't make her look adorable, it somehow made her look younger. Its juxtaposition with her way too big seriously does it need to be that huge chest was driving me wild. If looks could kill. Do you usually wear clothes like that outside of school? Oh. Makoto responded so enthusiastically, it didn't seem appropriate for me to tease her about it. But still, holy crap. It is so cute. If my pocket watch had greater power, I would have gone back in time to my past self that didn't notice Makoto until she was right next to me and whoop his butt. That's how cute she was. What is it? Makoto gave me a lovable smile. I was so nervous and excited at the moment that I could only nod silently. I wanted to go back 5 minutes and yell at myself, you lucky SOB. That would have been pointless, been a pointless spectacle, so I killed the thought. But by the way, were your parents cool with you going on a date today? I tried asking that rather casually, but Makoto laughed it off. Well, yeah, I guess it worries me a little. I didn't know what to make of his opinion of me, let alone the pause before he said, well, I suppose it's fine. It was kind of scary to think about, so I didn't press the issue. As Makoto and I chatted about trivial things, I was starting to feel more at ease. Alright then, let's get going. Yeah, did you decide on what you want to see? I told her before that I'd be fine with whatever movie she picked out. Oh, you did? Oh, so it must be a popular one. Well, don't worry, I'm cool with that.
ありがとう。
Makoto looks so elated, her jaw is rubbing off on me somewhat. I might have picked up some kind of romantic comedy or dumb action movie myself, but the way she's acting, I can only wonder as to what kind of kids movie or something she picked out. Well, not like I'd mind that. So what kind of movie is it?
それがね、もう人生初のデートでこれを見られるなんて奇跡なんじゃないかなって作品なんだけど。
Mm-hmm.
爆中地総長賭博のリバイバルだよ。
I knew it. Huh?
え？
Huh?
どうしたの？
Sorry. I didn't think I heard that right. What's the title again?
爆中地総長賭博。
Is that a heartwarming comedy?
鶴田浩二さん主演の60年代の人気映画の傑作だよ。
That was her choice? This girl in a frilly dress is taking me to see a Yakuza movie? Oh.
ちょっとレイ君、目頭なんか押さえちゃってどうしたの？
Well, sorry, I'm just a little bit shocked.
わかるよその気持ち。私もこれが上映してるって知った瞬間、思わず体が熱くなっちゃったもん。
Makoto, believing that she finally found someone who understood her feelings, clapped me on the back.
さあ、行こう、レイ君。
We started walking, with her excitedly dragging me by the arm. What have I gotten myself into? Her chest against my arm felt warm and soft like pudding, but the sense of happiness that feeling gave me was overwhelmed by everything else on my mind. I prayed to be kept safe until the end of the state. Of course, there was no one to hear my prayers. 2 hours later. What happened 2 hours later? That was amazing. But I think I've been playing for an hour, and I'm not sure if I want to keep going because my voice is going out. Literally losing my voice. So I'm gonna have to save it. I was trying to drink water to keep on going, but my voice just isn't trained well enough to talk for this long period of time. I'm sorry. We'll have to wait till the next episode.